Hey guys, denomination detectives and Bible reading people. We're going to read chapters 22 through 28 of Ben Sira today. So I've been thinking about this for a while and I think I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do 5 posts a day. We'll see if I can. Like I've been trying to and it's not been working, but typically I've been doing like a dance, a song, and a reading. And then like I keep forgetting I need to finish love languages because it was on the boat. So I'll bring it here so we can do it here. So I'm going to read from the NIV. I'm going to finish love languages and probably find another book. I have a couple of books in mind that I've read that I thought were helpful from when I was married. The next one I think I'm going to do Hold Your Family Together, which we did with our church, St. Lucas, which talks about the Faith 5. So I'm definitely going to read that one for you guys next. I think it's going to be the teaser for that. And then I will finish Ben Sear. So I'll be reading one Deuterocanonical book a day, working on that, or chapters from the Deuterocanonical book. And then I will read from the Lost books. And where am I at right now? NIV. I'll continue with the NIV, which is not here. It's on the boat. So I'll grab that today, and love languages. And then a dance, a song, Deuterocanonical, Lost books. And then what are they? That's 7 then. That seems overkill, but okay. Lost books of the Bible and forgotten books. And then where is it? I thought I had it saved on my computer and it's not showing up. And then sacred texts. The sacred texts, which are like, mostly they've been disciples, like Mary Magdalene, Thomas, Judas. So those ones. So I'm going to do 4 Bible readings. One like helpful book would be my 5th, and then song and dance. So 7. I'm going to try to do 7 posts a day, guys. We'll see how this goes. Like, people are telling me I should be on TikTok because I'm actually going to make money doing this, but that's not like why I'm doing this. I'm just trying to get as big of an audience as possible, which is YouTube to me, because TikTok is like trash, honestly, in my opinion. I'm sorry, TikTokers, but I think it's crap. I think it's garbage. Just like I think Instagram is garbage, and I think Snapchat is garbage. Like I literally think everything is garbage except LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. Those are the only 3 social media channels that I like. Sorry to all the other ones, but I think you're just basically repeats of the same garbage, and I get everything I possibly need out of those 3. I have my career stuff on LinkedIn. I have YouTube for all my video stuff and my creativity. And then I have Facebook for my blogs and my journaling, my Facebook marketplace. I can video chat with friends and family. Like, I love Facebook. Facebook is like literally like you don't need any other social media app. You really don't. Just saying. And I've tried Snapchat. Hated it. Thought it was like the dumbest. And the reason it was started in the first place is just freaking disgusting. So I boycotted on purpose for that reason. But I did get it because my brother begged me and I got it. And he never sent me a Snapchat after 6 months. I'm like, screw you. Like, not worth my time. And then I got Instagram because my aunt refused to get Facebook. And so she went on Instagram. So I got Instagram for her. And like, I just got rid of it. And you know what? It's really hard to get rid of Instagram. They actually don't let you leave. Like, they hold you hostage. Like, it's literally like a thing. Like, just saying. Okay. So, but now I'm off of stupid Instagram. So now I'm just Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And don't even get me started on Twitter. I hate Twitter. I literally hate Twitter. It's like the stupidest freaking thing ever. Just get rid of Twitter. Okay. Back to Ben Sira, guys. Okay. So I'm reading chapters 22 through 28 today. Here we go. Okay. Ben Sira, chapter 22. The idler is like a filthy stone, and everyone hisses at his disgrace. The idler is like the 5th of dunghills. Anyone that picks it up will shake it off his hand. It is a disgrace to be the father of an undisciplined son, and the birth of a daughter is a loss. I don't know how I feel about that. A sensible daughter obtains a husband of her own, but one who acts shamefully is a grief to her father. Thanks a lot, Ben Sira. Okay, an impudent daughter disgraces father and husband and is despised by both. Like music in time of mourning is ill-timed conversation, but a thrashing and discipline are at all times wisdom. Whoever teaches a fool is like one who glues potsherds together, or who rouses a sleeper from deep slumber. Whoever tells a story to a fool tells it to a drowsy man. And at the end, he will say, "What is it?" Weep for the dead, for he has left the light behind, and weep for the fool, for he has left intelligence behind. Weep less bitterly for the dead, for he is at rest, but the life of the fool is worse than death. Mourning for the dead lasts 7 days, but for the foolish or the ungodly, it lasts all the days of their lives. Do not talk much with a senseless person or visit an unintelligent person. Stay clear of him, or you may have trouble and be spattered when he shakes himself off. Avoid him, and you will find rest, and you will never be wearied by his lack of sense. What is heavier than lead, and what is its name except fool? What is heavier than lead, and what is its name except fool? I don't get it. Sand, salt, and a piece of iron are easy to bear than a stupid person. Really don't like unintelligent people, do you? A wooden beam firmly bonded into a building is not loosened by an earthquake. So the mind firmly resolved after due reflection will not be afraid in crisis. A mind settled on an intelligent thought is like stucco decoration that makes a wall smooth. Fences set on a high place will not stand firm against the wind. So a timid mind with a fool's resolve will not stand firm against any fear. One who picks the eye brings tears, and one who pricks the heart makes clear its feelings. One who throws a stone at birds scares them away, and one who reviles a friend destroys a friendship. Revels a friend destroys a friendship. Reviles a friend destroys. Okay. Even if you draw your sword against a friend, do not despair, for there is a way back. That's good to know. If you open your mouth against your friend, do not worry, for reconciliation is possible. But as for reviling, arrogance, disclosure of secrets, or a treacherous blow, in these cases, any friend will take flight. Gain the trust of your neighbor in his poverty, so that you may rejoice with him in his prosperity. Stand by him in time of distress, so that you may share with him in his inheritance. The vapor and smoke of the furnace precede the fire, so insults precede bloodshed. I am not ashamed to shelter a friend, and I will not hide from him. But if harm should come to me because of him, whoever hears of it will be aware of him. Who will set a guard over my mouth and an effective seal upon my lips, so that I may not fall because of them, and my tongue may not destroy me? No. Okay. All right, chapter 23. O Lord, Father, and Master of my life, do not abandon me to their designs, and do not let me fall because of them. Who will set whips over my thoughts and the discipline of wisdom over my mind, so as not to spare me in my errors and not overlook my sins? Otherwise, my mistakes may be multiplied and my sins may abound, and I may fall before my adversaries, and my enemy may rejoice over me. O Lord, Father and God of my life, do not give me haughty eyes, and remove evil desire from me. Let neither gluttony nor lust overcome me, and do not give me over to shameless passion. Listen to my children, to instruction concerning the mouth. The one who observes it will never be caught. Sinners are overtaken through their lips. By them the reveler, and the arrogant are tripped up. Do not accustom your mouth to oaths, nor habitually utter the name of the Holy One. For as a servant who is constantly under scrutiny will not lack bruises, so also the person who also swears and utters the name will never be cleansed from sin. The one who swears many oaths is full of iniquity, and the scourge will not leave his house. If he swears an error, his sin remains on him, and if he disregards it, he sins doubly. If he swears a false oath, he will not be justified, for his house will be filled with calamities. There is a manner of speaking comparable to death, may it never be found in the inheritance of Jacob. Such conduct will be far from the godly, and they will not wallow in sins. Do not accustom your mouth to coarse, foul language, for it involves sinful speech. I'm guilty of that a lot, you guys. Remember your father and mother when you sit among the great, or you may forget yourself in their presence, and behave like a fool through bad habit. Then you will wish that you had never been born, and you will curse the day of your birth. Those who are accustomed to using abusive language will never become disciplined as long as they live. Two kinds of individuals multiply sins, and the third incurs wrath. Hot passion that blazes like a fire will not be quenched until it burns itself out. One who commits fornication with his near of kin will never cease until the fire burns him up. To a fornicator, oh my gosh, Mom, how many texts are you going to send me? Okay, for a fornicator, I don't even know where I am right now. To a fornicator, all bread is sweet. He will never weary until he dies. The one who sins against his marriage bed says to himself, who can see me? Darkness surrounds me, the walls hide me, and no one sees me. Why should I worry? The Most High will not remember sins. His fear is confined to human eyes, and he does not realize that the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. They look upon every aspect of human behavior and see into hidden corners. Before the universe was created, it was known to him, and so it is since its completion. This man will be punished in the streets of the city and where he least suspects it. He will be seized. So it is with a woman who leaves her husband and presents him with an heir by another man. For first of all, she has disobeyed the law of the Most High. Second, she has committed an offense against her husband. And third, through her fornication, she has committed adultery and brought forth children by another man. She herself will be brought before the assembly, and her punishment will extend to her children. Her children will not take root, and her branches will not bear fruit. She will leave behind an accursed memory, and her disgrace will never be blotted out. Those who survive will recognize that nothing is better than the fear of the Lord, and nothing sweeter than to heed the commandments of the Lord. Okay, chapter 24. Wisdom praises herself and tells of her glory in the midst of her people. In the assembly of the Most High, she opens her mouth, and in the presence of his hosts, she tells of her glory. I came forth from the mouth of the Most High and covered the earth like a mist. I dwelt in the highest heavens, and my throne was in a pillar of cloud. Alone I compassed the vault of heaven and traversed the depths of the abyss. Over the waves of the sea, over all the earth, and over every people and nation I have held sway. Among all these I sought a resting place, in whose territory should I abide. Then the Creator of all things gave me a command, and my Creator chose the place for my tent. He said, make your dwelling in Jacob, and in Israel receive your inheritance. Before the ages, in the beginning, he created me, and for all the ages I shall not cease to be. In the holy tent I ministered before him, and so I was established in Zion. Thus, in the beloved city, he gave me a resting place, and in Jerusalem was my domain. I took root in an honored people in the portion of the Lord, his heritage. I grew tall like a cedar in Lebanon, and like a cypress on the heights of Hermon. I grew tall like a palm tree in En Gedi, and like rose bushes in Jericho. Like a fair olive tree in the field, and like a plane tree beside water I grew tall. Like cassia and camel's thorn, I gave forth perfume, and like choice myrrh I spread my fragrance. Like galbanon, onycha, and stacte, and like the odor of incense in the tent. Okay, I don't know what half of these are. I know what myrrh is. What is galbanum? First of all, where is En Gedi? Let's look this up, guys. I'm sorry. I still learning YouTube, guys. I do not know how to show you maps. So if somebody knows how to do that, please give me tips. Okay. En Gedi Bible places. Around 1000 BC, it served as one of the main places of refuge for David as he fled from Saul. David dwelt in strongholds at En Gedi. So it shows a picture of a waterfall by like a rock formation. And I know he was in a cave for a long time, so it's really pretty. Look it up. En Gedi, guys. Look it up. It's really pretty. It's like a little waterfall pool with like rock formations behind it. En Gedi, also spelled En Gedi, meaning spring of the kid, is an oasis and a nature reserve in Israel, located west of the Dead Sea near Masada and the Qumran Caves and Jetty was listed in 2016 as one of the most popular nature sites in the country. The site attracts about 1 million visitors a year. Okay, now we need to look up Galbanum. Okay, it's an essential oil. Galbanum is an aromatic gum resin and a product of certain umbelliferous Persian plant species in the genus Ferula, chiefly Ferula gummosa, synonym Galbaniflua, and Ferula rubicalis. Lots of Latin names. Okay. Galbanum yielding plants grow plentifully on the slopes of the mountain ranges of northern Iran. Okay. And you can also get it as an essential oil now. Anicca. What does it smell like? Intense green fragrance with woody and balsamic elements, often described as earthy or forest-like. This fragrance compound its value for its ability to impart a rich, spicy green scent. What is it used for? A gum-like material or resin from its stems is used to make medicine. Galbanum might reduce swelling and help fight certain types of bacteria. People use galbanum for wound healing, cough, digestion problems, and many other conditions, but there is no good scientific evidence to support these uses. Okay. All right. What is this one? Anicca. Along with equal parts of stat, galbanum, and frankincense was one of the components of the consecrated Ketoret incense. What does it smell like? It smells leathery and animalic, somewhat akin to castoreum. I don't know what that is. This 30% anicca, I don't know how to pronounce it. Oh my gosh. Tinctured in alcohol has been aged for 2 years. Like all animal ingredients, anicca has an alchemical, it's alchemy but with echo at the end. Alchemical effect on all the other essences in a blend. It is made common ingredient in biblical incense mixtures, ancient Greek word for fingernail. This is the door membrane of a snail-like mollusk found in the Red Sea and imported from Oman. It is powerful, aromatic, fixative, fixating all aromatics in a mixture together as one. So it's just mostly used for smell. Okay, known for its comforting and soothing properties as well as its benefits for the skin. Ancient people use it to improve complexion and to help nourish the skin. Perhaps some of the beneficial aspects of benzoin were due to not only the oil itself, but also the other oils compounded with it. Okay, benzoin, if you don't know, is good for acne. Interesting. Okay, what are the other ones in here? And stat. Okay, then we can go back to like reading the actual passage. There's just too many words I don't know in here. Okay. Stat. Okay. Stat, one of the sweet spices used by the ancient Jews in preparation of incense. It was perhaps an oil or other form of myrrh, cinnamon, or a kind of storax. Names used for one component of Solomon's temple incense. What does it smell like? That's a different, okay. Smell. Simply the sap that drips from the tapping of the wood of the balsam tree. It may have been light myrrh scented with benzoin. According to Rosenmuller, Stott was myrrh and another oil mixed together. One definition of myrrh in the Merriam Dictionary is myrrh mixed with another aromatic oil. Uses. Restricted for sacred purposes, honoring Yahweh, which is another word for God. The trivial or profane use of it was punishable by exile. One of the sweet spices used by ancient Jews in the preparation of incense. It was perhaps an oil or other form of myrrh, cinnamon, or okay, we already read that definition. Okay, back to the reading, guys. All right. Okay. Like a terebinth, I spread out my branches. You've got to be kidding me. Okay, so Terabithia, Bridge to Terabithia is like one of my favorite books, and it's a good movie too. A small southern European tree of the cashew family that was formerly a source of turpentine. Good to know. Okay, I spread out my branches, and my branches are glorious and graceful. I'm out of tea. Okay. Like the vine, I bud forth delights, and my blossoms become glorious and abundant fruit. Come to me, you who desire me, and eat your fill of my fruits. For the memory of me is sweeter than honey, and the possession of me sweeter than the honeycomb. Those who eat of me will hunger for more, and those who drink of me will thirst for more. Whoever obeys me will not be put to shame, and those who work with me will not sin. All this is the book of the covenant of the Most High God, the law that Moses commanded us as an inheritance for the congregations of Jacob. It overflows like the Pishon with wisdom, and like the Tigris at the time of the first fruits. It runs over like the Euphrates with understanding, and like the Jordan at harvest time. It pours forth instruction like the Nile, like the Gihon at the time of vintage. The first man did not know wisdom fully, nor will the last one fathom her. For her thoughts are more abundant than the sea, and her counsel deeper than the great abyss. As for me, I was like a canal from a river, like a water channel into a garden. I said, I will water my garden and drench my flower beds. And lo, my canal became a river, and my river a sea. I will again make instruction shine forth like the dawn, and I will make it clear from far away. I will again pour out teaching like prophecy, and leave it to all future generations. Observe that I have not labored for myself alone, but for all who seek wisdom. Chapter 25. I take pleasure in three things, and they are beautiful in the sight of God and of mortals: agreement among brothers and sisters, friendship among neighbors, and a wife and a husband who live in harmony. I hate three kinds of people, and I loathe their manner of life: a pauper who boasts, a rich person who lies, and an old fool who commits adultery. If you gathered nothing in your youth, how can you find anything in your old age? How attractive is sound judgment in the gray-haired, and for the aged to possess good counsel? How attractive is wisdom in the aged, and understanding and counsel in the venerable? Rich experience is the crown of the aged, and their boast is the fear of the Lord. I can think of 9 whom I would call blessed, and a 10th my tongue proclaims. A man who can rejoice in his children, a man who lives to see the downfall of his foes. Happy the man who lives with a sensible wife, and the one who does not plow with ox and ass together. Happy is the one who does not sin with a tongue, and the one who has not severed an inferior. Happy is the one who finds a friend, and the one who speaks to attentive listeners. How great is the one who finds wisdom, but none is superior to the one who fears the Lord. Fear of the Lord suppresses everything. To whom can we compare the one who has it? Any wound, but not a wound of the heart. Any wickedness, but not the wickedness of a woman. Any suffering, but not suffering from those who hate. And any vengeance, but not the vengeance of enemies. There is no venom worse than a snake's venom, and no anger worse than a woman's wrath. I would rather live with a lion and a dragon than live with an evil woman. A woman's wickedness changes her appearance and darkens her face like that of a bear. Her husband sits among the neighbors, and he cannot help sighing bitterly. Any iniquity is small compared to a woman's iniquity. Many a sinner's lot befall her. A sandy ascent for the feet of the aged, such as garrulous wife to a quiet husband. Maybe she's garrulous because he's quiet. Ever think of that? Ben Sira. Okay. Here we go. Excessive talking, especially on trivial matters. Oh my God. Okay. Obviously, he's not meeting her needs, so she's talking for the both of them. Okay. Do not be ensnared by a woman's beauty, and do not desire a woman for her possessions. There is a wrath and impudence and great disgrace when a wife supports her husband. Excuse me? Dejected mind, gloomy face, and wounded heart come from an evil wife. I don't like you anymore, Bensier. Drooping hands and weak knees come from the wife who does not make her husband happy. What happens when he doesn't make her happy? That's what I would like to know. From a woman's sin had its beginning, and because of her, we all die. Read the lost books. You guys are making me so angry. Allow no outlet to water and no boldness of speech to an evil wife. Let's just keep focusing on this. Bensier clearly has a hatred for women. If she does not go as you direct, separate her from yourself. I don't like you, Bensier. I think you're an asshole. Just saying. Okay. Happy is the husband of a good wife. The number of his days will be doubled. A loyal wife brings joy to her husband and will complete his years in peace. A good wife is a great blessing. She will be granted among the blessings of the man who fears the Lord. You better fear the Lord. Okay, whether rich or poor, his heart is content, and at all times his face is cheerful. Of three things my heart is frightened, and of a fourth I am in great fear: slander in the city, the gathering of a mob, a false accusation. All these are worse than death. But it is heartache and sorrow when a wife is jealous of a rival, and a tongue lashing makes it known to all. A bad wife is a chafing yoke. Taking hold of her is like grasping a scorpion. A drunken wife arouses great anger. She cannot hide her shame. The haughty stare betrays an unchaste wife. Her eyelids give her away. Keep strict watch over a headstrong daughter, or else when she finds liberty, she will make use of it. Good. Be on guard against her impudent eye, and do not be surprised if she sins against you. As a thirsty traveler opens his mouth and drinks from any water near him, so she will sit in front of every tent peg and open her quiver to the arrow. What? As a thirsty traveler opens his mouth and drinks from any water near him, she will sit in front of every tent peg and open her quiver to the arrow. I don't get it. She's going to hit the tent pegs with her arrow? I don't get it. A wife's charm delights her husband, and her skill puts flesh on his bones. Good God. A silent wife is a gift from the Lord, and nothing is so precious as her self-discipline. Guys, watch this. Seriously? Okay, a modest wife adds charm to charm, and no scales can weigh the value of her chastity. Like the sun rising in the heights of the Lord, so is the beauty of a good wife in her well-ordered home. Like the shining lamp on the holy lampstand, so is the beautiful face of a stately figure. Like golden pillars on silver bases, so are shapely legs and steadfast feet. My child, keep sound the bloom of your youth, and do not give your strength to strangers. Seek a fertile field within the whole plain, and sow it with your own seed, trusting in your fine stock. Oh my goodness. So your offspring will prosper, and having confidence in their good descent will grow great. A prostitute is regarded as spittle, and a married woman as a tower of death to her lovers. I don't even know how to respond to that. Okay. A godless wife is given a portion to a lawless man, but a pious wife is given to the man who fears the Lord. A shameless woman constantly acts disgracefully, but a modest daughter will even be embarrassed before her husband. A headstrong wife is regarded as a dog, but one who has sense of shame will fear the Lord. A wife honoring her husband will seem wise to all, but if she dishonors him in her pride, she will be known to all as ungodly. Happy is the husband of a good wife, for the number of his years will be doubled. You've already said that. A loud voiced and garterless wife is like a trumpet sounding the charge, and every person like this lives in the anarchy of war. At two things my heart is grieved, and because of a third anger comes over me, a warrior in want through poverty, intelligent men who are treated contemptuously, and a man who turns back from righteousness to sin. The Lord will prepare for the sword. A merchant can hardly keep from wrongdoing, nor is a tradesman innocent of sin. All right, let's hope chapter 7 is better, because I did not like your chapter 26, but Sira made a few good points, but a lot of them were very sexist. Okay, many have committed sin for gain, and those who seek to get rich will avert their eyes. As a stake is driven firmly into a fissure between stones, so sin is wedged in between selling and buying. If a person is not steadfast in the fear of the Lord, his house will be quickly overthrown. When a sieve is shaken, the refuse appears, so do a person's faults when he speaks. The kiln tests the potter's vessels, so the test of a person is in his conversation. Its fruit discloses the cultivation of a tree, so a person's speech discloses the cultivation of his mind. Do not praise anyone before he speaks, for this is the way people are tested. If you pursue justice, you will attain it and wear it like a glorious robe. Birds roost with their own kind, so honesty comes home to those who practice it. A lion lies in wait for prey, so does sin for evildoers. The conversation of the godly is always wise, but the fool changes like the moon. Among stupid people, limit your time, but among thoughtful people, linger on. The talk of fools is offensive, and their laughter is wantonly sinful. It's spelled like wanton. Wantonly sinful. That's not how I was expecting to be spelled. Their cursing and swearing makes one's hair stand on end, and their quarrels make others stop their ears. The strife of the proud leads to bloodshed, and their abuse is grievous to hear. Whoever betrays secrets destroys confidence and will never find a congenial friend. Love your friend and keep faith with him, but if you betray his secrets, do not follow after him. For as a person destroys his enemy, so you have destroyed the friendship of your neighbor. And as you allow a bird to escape from your hand, so you have let your neighbor go and will not catch him again. Do not go after him, for he is too far off and has escaped like a gazelle from a snare. For a wound may be bandaged, and there is reconciliation after abuse, but whoever has betrayed secrets is without hope. Whoever winks the eye plots mischief, and those who know him will keep their distance. In your presence his mouth is all sweetness, and he admires your words, but later he will twist his speech, and with your own words he will trip you up. I have hated many things, but him above all. Even the Lord hates him. Whoever throws a stone straight up throws it on his own head, and a treacherous blow opens up many wounds. Whoever digs a pit will fall into it, and whoever sets a snare will be caught in it. If a person does evil, it will roll back upon him, and he will not know where it came from. Mockery and abuse issue from the proud, but vengeance lies in wait for them like a lion. Those who rejoice in the fall of the godly will be caught in a snare, and pain will consume them before their death. Anger and wrath, these also are abominations, yet a sinner holds on to them. All right, last chapter for the day, guys, 28. The vengeful will face the Lord's vengeance, for he keeps a strict account of their sins. Forgive your neighbor the wrong he has done, and then your sins will be pardoned when you pray. Does anyone harbor anger against another and expect healing from the Lord? If one has no mercy toward another like himself, can he then seek pardon for his own sins? If a mere mortal harbors wrath, who will make atoning sacrifice for his sins? Remember the end of your life and set enmity aside. Remember corruption and death and be true to the commandments. Remember the commandments and do not be angry with your neighbor. Remember the covenant of the Most High and overlook faults. Refrain from strife, and your sins will be fewer. For the hot-tempered kindle strife, and the sinner disrupts friendships and sows discord among those who are at peace. In proportion to the fuel, so will the fire burn, and in proportion to the obstinacy, so will strife increase. In proportion to a person's strength will be his anger, and in proportion to his wealth he will increase his wrath. A hasty quarrel kindles a fire, and a hasty dispute sheds blood. If you blow on a spark, it will glow. If you spit on it, it will be put out. Yet both come out of your mouth. Curse the gossips and the double-tongued, for they destroy the peace of many. Slander has shaken many and scattered them from nation to nation. It has destroyed strong cities and overturned the houses of the great. Slander has driven virtuous women from their homes and deprived them of the fruit of their toil. Those who pay heed to slander will not rest, nor will they settle down in peace. The blow of a whip raises a welt, but a blow of the tongue crushes the bones. Many have fallen by the edge of the sword, but not as many as have fallen because of the tongue. Happy is the tongue who is Many have fallen by the edge of the sword, but not as many as have fallen because of the tongue. Happy is the one who is protected from it, who has not been exposed to its anger, who has not borne its yoke and has not been bound with its fetters. For its yoke is a yoke of iron, and its fetters are fetters of bronze. Its death is an evil death, and Hades is preferable to it. It has no power over the godly; they will not be burned in its flame. Those who forsake the Lord will fall into its power. It will burn among them and will not be put out. It will be sent out against them like a lion, like a leopard. It will mangle them. As you fence in your property with thorns, so make a door and a bolt for your mouth. As you lock up your silver and gold, so make balances and scales of your words. Take care not to err with your tongue and fall victim to one lying in wait. Okay, guys, that is Ben Sira, chapter 22 through 28. We'll pick up 29 through more. There's a lot of Ben Sira chapters next time. Thanks for listening and watching. Bye.